Sorry about that, guys. Camera, when Lloyd started saying stuff that wasn't true, the camera was like, nope, that's a lie detector on there. Basically said, Lloyd, that's full of crap, okay? Um, we heard, of course, Dak was demanding $40 million. No, not exactly. And again, this is whack that the Cowboys put all this stuff out there. When Carson Wentz got his deal, you didn't hear anything about anybody, where they were, what they were doing, or anything like that. Dak, of course, every move you hear from the Cowboys. So they originally offered him $90 million guaranteed, which, if you're going to franchise tag him, is really only 2.5 years. And Dak's people said, nah. Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, 110 and 107 million guaranteed. So for those guys, Dak's looking at saying they got their deal last year, which is old. That's old. Yo, that's an old deal. You were talking about last year's money. It's not my fault you decided to wait, but here's what it is now. Because had I got my deal done last year, I would have already had, 30 million in the bank. But I don't have that. I can't make that up. So the Cowboys went up to 100 million. We heard yesterday. Okay, we'll go from 90 million to 100 million. How about that? And apparently, nah. Now we heard today that the Cowboys and his agents have actually talked a couple of times already, which is good news. They're talking. And Clarence Hill said that they've upped it to 105 million guaranteed. Interesting number. Carson Wentz's guaranteed is 107. Jared Goff is 110 million. You know what? Who needs billions? Jerry Jones has got those. And you're still talking about being the top of your profession. Don't be mad at the players. Be mad about the game. You're talking about 2,000 guys in the world of the billions of people that can do what they do. And you have to understand that you say, oh, that's a whole lot of money, but understand the money that they are generating for others. It's not like the NFL is going poor. Those owners are getting paid big time. The puzzle will soon be revealed. What puzzle? The puzzle? What puzzle? You've lost me on that one. The puzzle will soon be revealed. So, but Quantum, again, it's getting your fair share of the pie. Without the players, the owners aren't making that money. They're not going to make. You think the owners are going to make that kind of money if me, Michael, and you were out there playing on the field? No. You have. What's up, man, Mr. Mark? Man, you make me feel old when you say Mr. Mark. I don't know why people call me Mr. Mark. It just sounds old. It's like when they call my wife Miss Tracy. It's like, is that like Miss Daisy? Yeah, oh, man. So, 105. We're getting closer. Here's my thing. I was sitting here. We were texting back and forth with Philly 500. Philly 500 saying, oh, Tom Brady's going to be your quarterback next week. And it's like, that ain't going to happen next week. Even if it were going to happen, it wouldn't happen next week because free agency doesn't start till later. Maybe the week after. Philly was saying, I hope they sign him to like 40 million, 50 million. I'm like, that ain't going to happen. It's not that. Let's be real here. But I was talking to him, and I said, you know what? Excuse my language. I said, you know what would be an incredible mind F? An incredible mind F. Because you know how Eagles have been talking about, we're going to target Byron Jones, right? We're going to target Byron Jones. Okay? When there was talk of Amari Cooper, How you doing, Tex Lee? Tex Lex? If Amari Cooper was out there, you know that they'd want to get that guy too, right? So, they had been hyper about like, oh my God, we might get Amari Cooper. We might, we'll take that guy. And now, of course, Philly 500 is saying, no, I don't want Amari Cooper. And I'm only just kind of coming around to the idea of Byron Jones. It's like, come on, man. Problem with the Wi-Fi. It's clear now. It seems to be fine right now. So the camera just said, ew, and I had to reboot it. So, sorry about that, Barbara. So, it's interesting that he says we don't want those guys. But they're like buzzards circling around, hoping that the Cowboys let go some good players and that they can pick them up. You know that, right? What would be really funny is if the Dallas Cowboys were to get Dak's deal done, get Amari Cooper's deal done, and then franchise tag Byron Jones. So as they were reaching out thinking, yeah, we got a quarterback. Sorry. You were this close, Philly. This close. Am I crazy? Am I crazy on that idea? I think that would be kind of fun. I really do. I really think that would be kind of like, Eagles. So that's what I think. The Cowboys, they don't do anything except at the last minute. They're that guy that's doing the homework on the bus to school. Damn, I got to get my homework done. They ain't getting it done the night before or the week before when they have plenty of time to do it. They gonna wait till the last second to get it done. Rodney, how you doing? Dak's getting his contract. Mr. Godfrey, 1970. That kind of money is a drop in the bucket for Jerry. And that's the thing. That's what's ridiculous. Okay, at this point, let me say this. At this point, if you're saying $33 million, right? What's $2 more million a year? Seriously, what is $2 more million a year? Are we going to be able to get a lights out player for just $2 million? Oh, Twan. How you doing, man? How you doing, man? Are we going to be able to get a lights out player for $2 million? Oh, we actually did. We had Dak Prescott who was only getting $2 million, so I guess actually you could. What if we trade Coop? Wait a minute, what was that? What if we trade Coop for a first and a second round? If you can find somebody that would give you that, but nobody's going to give you that kind of compensation. We actually, in the grand scheme of things, you can look at it and say we overpaid for getting Coop. Nobody's going to give you a first and a second. And here's the thing. Listen to me for a second here. All right, let's talk. Let's talk. Let's get a little closer here. Okay. Let's talk. Okay. There's some positions that you can draft for, and you can have guys right out of the box that can play really well. Okay? Tight end is not one. Tight end is one of the most complex positions on the field. Same thing, generally speaking, with centers. Wide receivers, generally speaking, do not do well their first year. If you're thinking that you're going to be able to draft somebody that will come in and play better than Amari Cooper, sorry, that's not going to happen. You look at the progression of Michael Gallup. He is a lot further along than he was his rookie year. And right now, here's the thing, regardless of how you guys feel about Dak didn't show up for this or, they dropped the balls, you actually have a group of guys that are used to playing together. See, football, a lot of times you'll see a team, like let's say the Browns, for example. The Browns went out and they got all kinds of great players. Odell Beckham is a great player. Jarvis Landry is a great player and stuff. Baker Mayfield, he's a decent quarterback. But the problem is when you bring in a whole lot of new pieces, you don't immediately have cohesion. We're not used to playing together. We're not used to the system. You have Amari Cooper, who is a great route runner when he's healthy. And because he is, that helps Zeke Elliott. Zeke can run the ball like crazy, especially when they're worried about a guy who can take it to the house. It's harder for us to put 8 men in the box worrying about him and having him single covered. That guy also complements Michael Gallup. A lot of people say, hey, man, we need to make Michael Gallup a number one. I'm not sure that Michael Gallup's a number one, but he benefits from having Zeke Elliott and Amari Cooper, okay? And because he actually can go down the field, you have to be worried about him as well, which turns around and helps you with Randall Cobb. Because Randall Cobb can go ahead and run those precise routes, you do those quick timing routes, he's deadly in the slot. All these three pieces actually work together really well. If you could get a tight end who can be a game changer, I love Jason Witten. Jason Witten can always catch the ball, but you did not fear Jason Witten. Defenses would look and say, okay, what's the one thing that we can not worry about as much? You got to worry about Zeke. You know he's going to get the lion's share of the ball, and you know he can do some damage. You know we got to worry about Amari Cooper, you know, unless he's checked out. He can take it to the house. But Michael Gallup, he can go all the way down the field. And Randall Cobb, he can go down the field too. Jason Witten, if we're not going to cover somebody, let's make it Jason Witten, because he ain't getting to the end zone even if he's uncovered. That's where most people don't think about the tight end. But I want you to look back at tight ends on these last Super Bowl teams. Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends in football. Gronk, who was retired with New England. Zach Ertz. You need a tight end who is a weapon. That's what this offense really needs. You don't need to get rid of the receivers that you have. You don't need to change up your offensive line. You need a tight end who's going to be a game changer. Now, I don't know if Blake Jarwin is going to be that guy. I don't know. He might be. But that's, to me, saying get rid of Amari Cooper. Even though people say he checked out of games or he was injured, he was still one of the top receivers in the NFL. So, no, I'm not trading that guy. And FYI, you don't own him. He's a free agent. You can't trade him. Byron, how are you doing tonight? Quantum, X24. Taryn Hearing, XFL. Yeah, Michael was live streaming earlier the XFL game. Cal Patty, Fireside Chat. Oh, no. Cal Patty, he's got his tail between his legs right now because, you know, it was a rough season. We can't do too much trash talking. You know, we'll leave that for the Eagles, and they're doing enough trash talking for everybody right now. Cool wants $20 million and bye-bye. Oh, wait a minute. Cool wants $20 million. Cruising 26. Why is that a joke? That's going to be the going rate. Hell, they paid Kirk Cousins guaranteed money 2 years ago, 88. And guess what? They're working on extension. Do you think he's going to take less money? They paid 110 to Jared Goff, 107 to Carson Wentz. How's that a joke, Cruising? But I appreciate you giving me that $2. You could say, hey, giving Mark Holmes $2. That's a joke. We'll take my little shot here. You didn't hurt my feelings, buddy. So we're going to spread the camera out here wide so you don't get that, you know, this old face too much. Look for Dallas to draft a quarterback in the middle rounds. Nah, actually I don't see that. Here's what I would do if it were me. If it were me, I would be going defensive line. I'm looking for a dumpster full of gravel. Okay? A dumpster full of gravel. Thank you, Duncoat and Democrat. Hunter Wood, Pastor, pay Dak, tab Cooper, get rid of Jones, and go in the draft for a corner and safety. Now, hold up. Listen to me. Think about last year where we picked at 58, and we took Tristan Hill. We could have had Warren Thornhill. Yeah. safeties, generally speaking, in the second round you can get it because those are not like, top 10 guys usually. You can get really good safeties late there. What you really need, okay, right now I'm not worried about insurance, okay, because you're not going to draft somebody very rarely you're going to draft somebody in late middle rounds, and he's going to be an insurance policy. You might as well stick with Cooper Rush. I mean, if you're thinking that you're going to get a guy that's going to come in late in the rounds, is going to be able to learn your system, especially with the new collective bargaining agreement where there's only going to be 16 padded practices, and think that he's going to come in and make a difference. What you need to do is make sure that you can keep your quarterback upright. I would rather spend that capital on getting a defense together, because what you need to get is that gravel, that dumpster, roll-off dumpster full of gravel to get a push in the middle. That's first round. Second round, I might be tempted to take my third and my second round pick and move up close to the first round. I might be, depending on who's there, because that's where I would be looking for that cornerback or safety, that game changer right there. If we let Byron Jones go, if we keep Byron Jones, if we get Dak's deal done, we get Amari Cooper's deal done, and we decide we're going to go ahead and tag Byron Jones, because that tag number is going to be less than actually paying him what he's going to get on the streets. I go for a safety. That's what I'm looking for right there. In the third round, I might be looking for a tight end. So from that standpoint, that's where we're going first three. Fourth round, I'm looking for another cornerback. Fifth round, I'm looking for a special teams standout. Sixth round, best player available from that point on. For me, that's where we're going. Because for me, the biggest bang for the buck is a pass rusher. You get a pass rusher, he's going to make the linebackers, especially in the middle, he's going to make the linebackers stay clean. They're going to have to double team him. That means the guards aren't getting back to the linebackers, and the linebackers can scrape and do what they need to go ahead and shut those guys down. They can be playing downhill because they're not having to shed a block. Okay? You're helping out your cornerbacks. If you can get a push up the middle, quarterbacks can't stand. They can't stand pressure in the face. They can't step up. It blocks their vision of where the receivers are. So they're going to get kind of happy feet because they know that D-Law and maybe Robert Quinn are coming from the outside. They're going to try and get rid of the ball quicker, which leads to your cornerbacks not having to hold up as long and having guys make mistakes and get turnovers. So for me, that's where I'm going. We agree, Mark. Pay Dak $105 million guaranteed. Okay. I mean, here's, what's going to be funny is, just like Kirk Cousins' deal, we look at it and say, man, if we could only have Kirk Cousins' deal right now, the going rate is going to go through the roof, bro. If Danny Dimes, can do anything in 3 years when he gets his deal, it's going to make Dak Prescott look like chump change. It's going to be the nature of the beast. This salary cap is about to go to the moon, dog. Seriously. Now, cruising, maybe, you know what I'll do? All the people who've done Super Chats since Super Bowl, we ended up putting them all in, I put everybody's name into the bucket, and we did a drawing and everything else. We had 3 winner chicken dinners. Actually, they didn't win chicken dinners. They ended up winning the bronze statue, set of 4 shot glasses, and a soft football. But we're going to do another drawing on Monday. So any Super Chats that happen, I'm going to add you into Monday night's drawing. So, cruising, I hope you win in some Cowboys gear. How about that? Okay? Dallas is going to have to address, oh, my God. See, for me, listen, while somebody is saying, let's draft a quarterback late in the rounds as insurance, we don't have money for insurance right now. We got to pay the house note, okay? Having insurance on a house that we don't own, it doesn't do us any good. First thing we got to do is, would Belichick pay Dak? If Tom Brady go, he going to pay somebody. Ain't nobody coming through for free to New England. Ain't nobody. Now, they might look at it and say, well, I got Bill Belichick in that defense. But they're not coming through for free. I don't know. Stop. Okay, you know what? Just stop with this whole thing about, we can't pay this guy, that guy. Listen to me. The salary cap went up $10 million a year for every year over the last 8 years. Through turmoil, when they said football was dying, when people were protesting because of the anthem, okay? The anthem protest, okay? Because of concussions. Viewership went down, but yet the money continued to go up. And right now, you're about to see the biggest deal in the history of sports that goes through. You're adding another freaking game to the schedule. Another game. You are about to make the players happy by saying, we're not testing for weed, so you don't have to worry about them staying off the weed anymore. No, that's done. That's gone. They're about to, they already are partnering with gambling. Like I said, the Redskins on the ballot for this year is legalized gambling at the stadium. Sports books at the stadium. That's going to be part of the revenue that's going to get shared with the players. The NFL is about to renegotiate the television contract. And now with like Netflix and Amazon and all these things, one of those guys are going to say, you know what? We want to go ahead and add NFL games. Just like DirecTV has the NFL Sunday ticket, which is probably going to be up for somebody else to grab. It might be Verizon that says, you know what, we want the Sunday ticket, and we'll have that on our subscription or something. But believe it, there's going to be a bidding war. There's going to be a bidding war. All that money is going to go to the salary cap. Some projections have by 2027 the salary cap being $450 million. Stop worrying about money. Stop worrying. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. If this deal is signed on Thursday, the salary cap is going up this year from the $200 million. Okay? If the Cowboys, hypothetically, let's say they get a deal like Russell Wilson. Let's say they end up bumping it up and say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and pay you $35 million a year. The cap hit for Russell Wilson last year with the highest contract in the NFL, his cap number last year was only $25 million. So hypothetically, let's say we do that one. We go ahead and give him the guaranteed money, spread it out over the length of the contract, and we say, Dak, we're paying you $1 million this year because, hey, that's about what we normally pay you. And he gets that salary cap, that bonus check. So, he walks away with a $50 million check, this year, and then gets paid $1 million during the season, right? He's happy. He's got the 35. He's the highest paid player in the NFL. And now we got only a $25 million cap hit for this year. That leaves us with $52 million. 52. $52 million still to work with. Okay. So let's say we end up signing Amari Cooper. And we do kind of the same type deal. Let's say we pay him $18 million a year. Well, we can go ahead, spread that stuff out on his contract. We could turn around with, say, a $9-10 million cap hit for this year. Seriously. Because the salary cap's going to go up this year. It's going to go up more next year. So you can say, okay, we're going to keep the number low this year. So now all of a sudden you spent $35 million, right? Between Dak. Oh, no, stop. I'm trying to tell you, Shane, listen, you're not listening. You can sign Dak and Amari Cooper for a long-term deal and spend $35 million on the cap for next year. That's it. Because all these people are saying, just franchise tag. It's a hard number. You're going to spend 33 just for Dak. So hypothetically, we do that. Guess what? Guess what we still have left? We still have $42 million left. Wait a minute. You say, hold it. You get Dak, you get Amari, and you still have $42 million left. Okay. You can franchise tag, or better yet, transition tag Byron Jones. Transition tag. This way, if somebody wants him, they're going to have to give you some compensation. They're going to have to give you some picks. And oh, by the way, there's another new thing that the NFL owners have put into that agreement. The fines for holding out through training camp are like quadrupled. He may not like having that franchise tag, but he ain't got no choice but to go ahead and do that. That transition tag for a cornerback will be about $12 million. So now, are you following me now? You got a $25 million for Dak. You got about a $10 million for Amari. You got a $12 million for Byron Jones. So that's 52. You still have $20 million. You haven't had to cut anybody. You haven't had to release anybody. You haven't had to restructure any contracts. And you still have $20 million. You can still, if you want to bring back Robert Quinn, you can do that. Now, for me, I look at it as this. Redskins suck. They're rebuilding. New coach. New philosophy. It's going to take them a couple years, at best case. The Giants. Dave Gettleman is asking the fans who to draft. Okay? Danny Dimes ain't worth 5 cents. Okay? All right? So, you look at those guys and say, they're not that good. You look at the Eagles, who were the 7th oldest team in the NFL last year, who, as they put it, Carson Wentz, he didn't have weapons. Okay? They got to go out and get some guys. Defense, they need a whole lot of guys on defense. You look at that and say, okay, they got the first place schedule. They got later round draft picks. They're not going to get that much better. They only have $44 million of money to spend. They can only do so much. And the natural progression of the NFC East is you win the division and you step back by about 3.4 games a year. So you look at this and say, we got a real good chance to at least win our division and maybe try and make some noise. So maybe what we should look at is say, let's go ahead and go push our chips in, knowing that the salary cap is going to balloon up, and you go through, and maybe you say, Tyrone Crawford, listen, dude, we need you to go the Sean Lee route. We're not paying you $10 million this year. You either restructure or you got to go. Love you. Love your leadership ability and all that, but we need the cash. That's $10 million right there if he's not on the team. So now you've got 32 million still left to sign Robert Quinn and anybody else that you want to go ahead and get. You can go to Zach Martin, who is still in the prime of his career. You can restructure that contract, and that would be a contract that I would look at and say, yeah, let's take $10 million out of that real quick and spread it out. Zach Martin's going to be around for a long time. And it doesn't matter because we know this is like a payday loan. We're going to pay it back when we go ahead and get that money from that new CBA. So now you got Dak Prescott signed. You got Amari Cooper signed. You've tagged Byron Jones, and you're either going to get some compensation or you're going to get him for another year cheap. And I still have $42 million for anybody that I want to keep that's already on the roster, or was on the roster, or free agents to go and get. That's why it's actually better to sign Dak to a deal now as opposed to keeping him on a franchise tag. It gives you more options. Snacks Harrison, listen, the day he was released, I was like, that's the kind of guy. Todd Fritz will get Dak 40. See, this is where I believe. This is what I believe. I think Dak Prescott wants to be the highest paid. I think he wants to be, I'm not even sure it has to be the highest paid. I think that Dak just wants to make sure that his deal is better than Wentz and Goff's. Because for me, if I am the guy that nobody believed in, I was the 8th drafted quarterback, and I've seen these two guys that everybody talked about, believed in, and are propping up. I want to make sure that I make more money than them because I want them to know. I've got this chip on my shoulder. I went out and I earned it. I didn't have that pedigree or everybody in love with being that just said that you're the best guy and you should be drafted up there. I had to go out there and earn it, and I want my bragging rights of saying I make more money than those guys. That they didn't believe in me, but I am better than them, I'm more paid than them, and I earned that shit. And I would not settle for less. I just wouldn't. That's me. That's me. Because I've proven myself. I've gone out there and done everything that I'm supposed to do. Seriously. Cruising. Stop with the lies. The Cowboys offered him 33, and they just upped it to 105 guaranteed. We don't know if he's going to take that or not. So you're telling me that they offered him more money and he turned that down, so they offered him less? Come on, man. Stop being stupid. See, this is where hate begins, because we heard this whole thing of, $40 million is what he was looking for. He was never looking for $40 million. And see, there's always three sides to every argument. Three sides. There's your side, there's my side, and somewhere in the middle lies the truth. And when I tell my side of the story, I'm never going to say anything that puts me in a bad light. And you're never going to say anything that's going to put you in a bad light. You're going to tell the story where it makes you look good. Okay? You're going to think about it. Think about it. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. So the Cowboys went out and said, hey, we offered him a deal that was, the equivalent of the top 5. They could come out and say, you know what, Mark? We're going to offer you a deal that's going to be the highest deal in the history of the NFL. We're going to offer you $40 million a year. We're going to offer it for 5 years. We're going to give you a $200 million deal. But you know what? We're only going to guarantee $1 of it. But you got the highest deal ever in the history of football. You follow me? You understand that, right? Because all that really matters, that whole thing of, it's a $100 million contract like, Albert Hainsworth had. He didn't get $100 million. He laid on his fat ass and he got 32. It's only the guaranteed money that you really can count. And so from that standpoint, the deal they originally offered at $90 million, it's not anywhere near the highest contract. Not anywhere near. And it certainly isn't anywhere near $40 million a year. So stop with the bullshit, man. You're hurt? Well, you know what? Why don't you, if you're hurt so bad, why don't you take your ass over to Cole Pizzle then, man? This is a Cowboys channel. Yeah, you see that? Look, what am I wearing? What am I wearing here? You see this right here? This is Dallas Cowboys. You see this? That's Jobu's Cowboys star, okay? It doesn't say New York stinking Giants. It doesn't say cockroaches. It doesn't say dumpster fire. It says Dallas Cowboys. So come on, man. Get out your feelings. Zeppelin fan, how you doing? James, let me educate. James, come here. James, come here. If Dak Prescott got tagged and ended up signing the tag this year, okay? The final calculations on the final calculations on the tag will actually be done April 15th. So let's say Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes get their deals done. Their numbers will be added to it. They'll be the top 2, which raises up the bottom. So it's conceivable that the tag price could go up to like $35 million for this year. So, hypothetically, if they were to tag him a second time, he gets 120% raise from what he got this year, which would be about that $45 million. You follow me? Problem is this. Football is a brutal sport. Every player is one play away from their career being over. Dak has played for 4 years without any security whatsoever. Tony Romo made $127 million. Kirk Cousins has already made $100 million and has $28 million more still guaranteed to him. Sam frickin' Bradford made $120 million. And here it is, you got a guy who has the second most wins in the NFL over the last 4 years. Even though we say that he's trash cut, has the 9th most touchdowns to start a career, 97. If you put in there his rushing TDs, he's 3rd on the list of touchdowns to start the first 4 years, behind Peyton Manning and Dan Marino. That's a fact. He has over 15,000 yards. He's almost halfway there to Tony Romo's Dallas Cowboys career record in passing in 4 years. Tony Romo played 14. If Dak Prescott plays for 9 years at his current rate, he will own all of the Dallas Cowboys records. All of them. Every record that Romo has. Just at the current rate. And what he has done already for $4 million, you got to look at and say, yeah. Our backups got paid more than that. Our punter got paid more than that. Everybody got paid more than that. So stop with this whole thing of, you know what, if he just works. Listen, the tag is going to screw you more than it's going to help you. You're going to have a hard number if you have him play on the tag. $33 million. It doesn't help you any. And let's say he plays lights out. Guess what? You're going to have to pay him $45 next year. So you're going to turn around and pay him $80 million for the 2 years and tie up all that money? Come on, man. Stop being stupid. That ain't got nothing. See, I tell you what. Who was that said that? Campbell soup goes a long way. I tell you what. You go to your job and tell them that you're going to go ahead and work for free because you got a part-time job that pays well. You go do that. And if you're not willing to do that, then shut your mouth on it. If you are not willing to do something yourself, do not ask another man to mess with his money because you're not willing to do the same thing. If you're going to be the example, if you're the one that says, you know what, even though I know my company is worth billions of dollars, that I'm going to take a pay cut because I'm a team guy, even though nobody else is, just stop. Stop. Delusional Dak fan. Why is this not, my chats down here aren't keeping up with those. Brett, they think that you can just go to Walmart and get one because they just grow on trees. Steve, well, hold up. I tell you what, I'm actually not going to say that Stephen Jones is a problem. I think they go about it the wrong way about getting these deals done. Here's the thing that is kind of actually crazy. You end up paying. This is where you almost wonder if Jerry Jones, knowing how the CBA was going to go, it made no sense for them to go through and do Jalen Smith's deal. It didn't. La'el Collins, you looked at that and said, La'el Collins, some people said, he's a bum, throw him off a bridge. I'm not going to say who said that, but that's how some people looked at it. And so you're wondering, why are they redoing Jalen Smith's deal right now? We got plenty of time on him. Why are we redoing La'el Collins? Jerry Jones was part of the negotiations with the NFLPA. He knew what's going to happen with the salary cap. By locking in Jalen Smith last year, locking in La'el Collins for all these years, as you look at Tunsil's looking for $20 million. Tunsil's looking for $20 million. Clowney is looking for 22 to 23. The good thing about the contracts that they have, even Zeke Elliott's, 3 more years, you can walk away from Zeke without any dead money. 2 more years you can walk away from D-Law without any pain. When you look at what happened with Tony Romo, we had so much dead money, and Dez Bryant that we had dead money that we were paying for that Dak helped us to get over with. They actually have these contracts, the way they're written, that they can walk away without being in a lot of pain. No cheap quarterbacks do what could have. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing that's so funny. People will say, well, go ahead and get Derek Carr. He'll be less money. What's Derek? Is he winning Super Bowls? And since they're paying him less money, were they able to get a whole bunch of players around him to win a Super Bowl? To make the playoffs? Get Matthew Stafford. What has he done? He's delusional as that. Yep, at any cold-blooded college special team quarterback. Rodney, huh? I'm lost in the chat, sorry. Zeppelin, I was singing the same thing. No cheap QBs do. We could have had any quarterback last year and not gotten to the playoffs. Royal Cowboys Sports Report. Some of the people are the ones Stephen A. Smith been calling delusional for a minute now. They say we're looking at Ron Leary again. Depends on the price. Guards, offensive linemen usually have a long, a good shelf life. He did play well for us. It was only 2 years ago. Again, it depends on the price. I for one would rather keep Joe Looney than get Ron Leary. Joe Looney, to me, he's a swing center, guard, and he's got experience after having to play for Travis Frederick. I'd keep him. I think I would let Cam Fleming go, because that's another $4.5 million that we can save right there, letting him go. What's happening, Bobby Ace? Bobby, how you doing? Jet D in the house. Safford has a good arm. Oh, lordy, here we go. Okay. Matthew Stafford's cap number this year is $29 million. You do know that, right? You do know that, right? Okay. You're going to hear this time of year, you're going to hear everybody talking about, well, this team might be interested in this guy, that guy. But the teams technically can't talk to anybody until the 16th. So if the team goes through and say, yeah, we're interested in getting that guy, then that's tampering, because you're not supposed to be doing that. So that's all speculation by, the media outlets. And, it bothers me because there is no credibility or any repercussions if you make shit up. This whole wild goose chase of Tom Brady, because we literally heard a couple of days ago, Tom Brady, he had a meeting with Bill Belichick, and, it didn't go well, and so, he's going. And then others said, no, wait a minute. That was how, it was like business as usual. Which is it? Eagles play the Rams, Seattle Ravens, 49ers, Packers, Saints, and the Cowboys twice. Well, listen, if my theory works like it has, at least after the Super Bowl, I think you're going to see the Eagles could end up being, that 6-10 is a possibility. It is a possibility. There is no accountability. Think back to, I hate to rehash this one, but think back to when they came out and said there might be a tape of Dez Bryant that's 10 times worse than Ray Rice. Everybody went on a wild goose chase. Because, see, here's the thing that happens. When something like that is said, if it is retracted, it's kind of in the back pages. But what happens is people hear that and they believe that. Oh, my God, Dez Bryant, he's like Ray Rice. He's beating people. When they came out and they said the police were called to his house 6 times, you were thinking in your mind, oh, my God, it was Miami Vice here. SWAT team is out there. They're being called that, he's a thug and getting carried off. Well, one of them was a baby that was locked in the car. Another time was to a house that Dez Bryant had nothing to do with. One of the times was Dez Bryant actually calling the police because he was being harassed by somebody. But the image in your mind is Dez Bryant, the police have been called to his house 6 times. Well, the police have been called to my house before. I ain't done anything. I had the police knock on, I tell you what, I've had the police knock at my door at 2:30 in the morning. I hear a knock on my door. I'm getting up. I'm in my drawers. I'm looking downstairs. I see a flashlight shining into my windows. I get the bathrobe on and come downstairs and say, "Can I help you, officer?" He said, "Yeah." "Was the black car in front of your house your car? The Honda Accord?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, it's been launched over to the neighbor's yard because it was hit by a drunk driver." So you could say, police been to Mark Holmes' house. So they slandered him, but didn't nobody ever say, "You know what? There was no tape of Dez Bryant. Sorry, our bad." But now you got the image of Dez Bryant is a thug. Please go to his house, that he beats women. All these things are out there. So when you hear, them say that, Tom Brady, bad meeting, he might be going to the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo. Oh, no, wait a minute. It might be the Tennessee Titans. They get this shit wrong all the time, but there's no repercussions whatsoever. They keep propagating the same stuff. And I wish I could pull this up, but when I was going down the road today, it actually amazed the hell out of me. I posted it on Instagram because I'm still trying to find the definition. Yes, you do, Philly. Philly, you do need Foles. No. See, listen. This is what's funny because Philly 500. He's always trying to start some shit. Okay, see, he's sitting here right now. Right now, he's sending me messages. Okay, I said, he said, "Oh, Tom Brady's coming to the Cowboys and everything else because they're not going to pay Dak." I said, "You know that they offered him $105 million, right?" He said, "Well, did he take it? Did he take it?" I said, "You know what? This might be the mind fuck for the Eagles that the Cowboys are doing. That they end up getting Dak's deal done, Amari Cooper's done, and we snatch Byron Jones right out your jaws, right?" He said, "Well, you guys should go sign Nick Foles." I said, "Well, wait. I said, "Maybe you guys should sign Nick Foles." He was like, "We don't need Nick Foles." I said, "You could have used him in the playoffs when your quarterback got knocked the F out." "Oh, that was a cheap shot." It doesn't matter. He didn't make it through the game. You're telling me that you wouldn't have liked to have Nick Foles when your quarterback walked it to him, walked his happy ass right to the locker room, walked right on out the stadium to the locker room? Okay? Come on, Philly. Yeah. And I can guarantee you right now that there's some Philadelphia Eagle fans saying, "You know what? We sure could use Nick Foles." But anyway, okay, just hear me out for a second. So I'm still trying to find the definition of elite quarterbacks, right? And I found this. It was a rating of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I think they had Dak at 10. And this was week 16, going into week 16. This is after Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Actually, maybe I can pull it up here. Hold it. I want to read what they said on this because I think it should be on Facebook. Because I was just like, this is just straight up hate. Let me see if it. Okay. Let me read this to you. So keep in mind, we destroyed the Rams. The Rams, it was 44-21. And if you want to talk about garbage time, the Rams ended up getting like 2 touchdowns in like the fourth quarter when this game was over. It was way over, okay? So Dak Prescott in that game had 2 TD passes. Okay, let me read the statistics. He was 15 of 23, 65.2 completion percentage, 202 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions, 123.8 rating. Okay, you got to look at that and say, okay, and understand that 2 of the drives, one was 90 yards. Another one right back behind it was 97 yards. That's what your team did. a 90-yard and a 97. Now, there was a Tony Romo-esque play in there, like when Tony Romo got away from J.J. Watt, he did his Houdini and spun around and whoop, hit the ball. Dak Prescott should have been dead to rights. Players right there on him. He gets away and he gets it to Austin. Now, Austin, the two D-backs ran to each other. He's wide open. But Dak didn't get sacked, right? So you look at that and say, we beat a Rams team that was hot. They were on a 3-game winning streak. Your quarterback did what he was supposed to do. 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions, 123 rating. You say, okay, that was a pretty good game. Let me read this to you. And even you Dak haters, you got to at least look objectively. Now, this is what they said. A quick glance at Prescott's traditional stats from Sunday: 15 of 23, 65.2% completions, 212 yards, 9.2 yards per average, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 123 passer rating would suggest that the Cowboys quarterback provided a clean and efficient effort for the Dallas Cowboys. 44-21 demolition of the Rams. I think that's what it says. But, as you, wise reader, are obviously aware, the box score of variables reliability. And in reference to Dak's performance this weekend, well, the box score lies with 2 exclamation points. Prescott lacked precision throughout the day, and he was fortunate to escape the game without a turnover or 3. What? Not to mention a quarter of those throwing yards and one of the 2 touchdowns came on a play where 2 Rams covermen. Who calls them covermen? Covermen? What the? You mean defensive backs? DBs? Where 2 Rams covermen run into each other, leaving Austin wide open with, and here we go, in dark blue colors, capitalized, the most wide open TG catch of the year. No, seriously. Austin, 16.8 yards of separation were a season high for a TD reception. Next gen stats. Credit Dak, though, for avoiding the sack and making the pass. Just before that, that's on my phone there. I don't have it. Before that, they talk about Deshaun Watson, who, playing against Tennessee, had 2 TDs, 2 interceptions, and snuck by and got the win. And they praised him and saying, you know, he played well when it counted. Wait, let me see if I can't remember I should have posted that. But I was just like, wait. So a guy who had no interceptions has a blowout victory, okay? Doesn't make any mistakes. You say the stats lie. Deshaun Watson has 2 interceptions. And by the way, if you watch the highlights from it, you see 2 passes that the guys that were interceptions, that were sure interceptions, on top of the 2 that he made, that were just dropped by the guy. I was like, how you dropped? I could have caught that. But you praised him and you killed. Come on, man. Let's be for real. There is an agenda against the guy. What's even funnier, I tell you what's even funnier. The next week, Deshaun Watson against Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston throws a pick six, throws 3 other interceptions, has a fumble, okay? They get the ball, so pick 6, okay. First series, they get a pick 6. You already got 7 points. Second series, they get another turnover, get the ball on the 45-yard line, have to punt. Third series, Jameis Winston turns it over again. They get the ball on like the 20-yard line, end up settling for a field goal. And they snuck out a win 23-20. Watson had 161 yards, no TDs, 1 interception, a 59 completion percentage, and I want to say a 70 QBR. But ain't nobody said anything about that game. Ain't nobody said anything about those games. And that's where I kind of look at it and say, wait a minute. You literally said that his statistics in there don't mean anything. He should have. Come on, man. Come on. Can we stop with the hate? Can we stop with the hate? I guess not. So, back to the chats here. Let me give everybody a shout out here. For some reason, the chats are all blank here, but let's see if we can get them back refreshing. But shout out to you guys being on here with me live here tonight. I'm just happy to be here because y'all's my people. And my wife is visiting some friends, so it's just me and Michael. And Michael's like, Dad, you're old. You know, I'm watching my games. I mean, backup Dak. Carson Wentz. You're right. I like that. Wentz will be airlifted by week 6. Yeah, but a lot of those teams the Eagles play probably won't be as good next year. The NFL changes year. Yeah, true. And including the Eagles probably won't be. Because here's what happens. Here's the good news. Every year, half of the teams that made the playoffs the year before don't make it the next year. Look at us. We were a playoff team the year before. We didn't make it. The Bears, they were a playoff team. They didn't make it. The Chargers, they were a playoff team. They didn't make it. And you can go down the line because there were a lot of teams that were in the playoffs the year before that weren't. So natural attrition happens because, one, you're playing a longer season, so you have less time to recover. When you're successful, people want more money or they want the pieces that you have. Coaches go to other places. Things change. So it's hard to stay on the top. As I was pointing out before, listen, nobody's repeated in the NFC East. The Eagles were 9-7. In the last 16 years, this is crazy. In the last 16 years, the defending division winner has never won more games than they did that year before. Never. So the Eagles were 9-7. History says they will not win more games than 9-7. And only 2 years of those 16 did the team that won the division not have less wins. Twice. Some years, we saw our Cowboys go 13-3 to 9-7. We saw us go 12-4 to 4-12. And there's other teams that did the same thing. So, Eagle fans, that's why I said you might want to keep it down a little bit because you might be eating some crow. This live season is definitely like Def Comedy Jam. Oh, you like this, huh? I like to have fun, man. Hope not. Eagles have work to do, but fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah, listen, we all got work to do. Unless you won the Super Bowl, you got work to do. That should be the only team that's happy, and they shouldn't be satisfied. They need to realize we got more work to do to try and stay up here. We can't live on what we just did. And that's a team that has only $13 million and has to pay their quarterback too. So everybody's got work to do, and this is the time that you start doing this work. Well, and the thing about it is a lot of times you think that you made the right move, and it ends up blowing up in your face. I mean, it was so funny, trying to remember what show it was, but watching Ryan Leaf, okay? I think it's just that, now it's like all the busted quarterbacks that didn't do shit are now, talking heads. Because you got, damn, I don't know why I can't remember that idiot's name, but he was the Lions quarterback, and he's always dogging Dak Prescott. He was part of that 0-16 team. Damn. That idiot, he's another one that drives me crazy. But they had Ryan Leaf as a talking head now. I guess he's done with his jail time and his drug problem. And he was talking about Dak Prescott and things. And you think about the Chargers. It was Peyton Manning, the more polished quarterback right now, but he doesn't have the arm strength of Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf's got the bigger upside than Peyton Manning. But you can't go wrong with either of those guys. Peyton Manning walks away with 2 Super Bowl rings. Ryan Leaf, well, he got handcuffed off. How about that? Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, number 1 and number 2 picks in the NFL draft. Right now, where are those 2 guys going to go? They're supposed to be franchise guys. Vince Young, the miracle with Texas in college, had a great, rookie year. Mine went crazy. Never was anything close to what people thought he was going to be. You just don't know what you don't know. How many people besides me thought that Dak Prescott was the perfect quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? You couldn't honestly look and say, yeah, that 4th-round drafted quarterback's going to start 4 years straight and throw 97 touchdown passes. Yeah. Nobody sees that stuff coming. You just don't know what you don't know. So a lot of times you think, hey, when the Eagles, I tell you what, Philly 500 was pounding his chest. We got D-Jax back, man. Oh, my God, D-Jax. We got D-Jax back. He's going to be the deep threat for Carson Wentz. You're not going to be able to shut him down. Yeah. Dude couldn't stay on the field. Down on string. Right? Shit happens. Not me, wanted Brissett. Jacoby Brissett. Well, Jacoby Brissett, here, and all those people, everybody who's sitting there worried about what Dak Prescott's, you can't pay him 33. Jacoby Brissett got 27 last year, right? Jacoby Brissett got 27 last year. Let me say it again. Jacoby Brissett got $27 million last year. Deshaun can't stay healthy. I agree. I told Philly, because Philly kept going through, I said, Philly, your team's old. I said, listen, I understand being old. That's one thing I do understand. When you're older, you don't recover as fast. You get nagging injuries that prolong. When you're young, you bounce back, you can kind of live through the pain. Not when you're old. Now, like, D-Jack, he got that Redskins stank on him and then that Tampa Bay stank on him. He got some miles on. Oh, no, man, he's going to be okay, all right. And that's why I'm like, I don't need Dez. Dez has been injury-riddled. Hasn't had a great season in 2014. It's been too damn long. So did Brady, when he and Manning started, I don't know what the first part of it is. Wentz is a glorified Jason Campbell. No, he's better than Jason Campbell. Come on. You know what? I hate Wentz, and I don't want to give him props, but he's better than Jason Campbell. Let's be honest. The Redskins killed his career with the chuck and duck, with not protecting him. He literally got beat down. Literally, he'd get the ball, and it was just going to be, who's going to be the guy that hits me now? That's what he's looking at. He's not looking at downfield. It's just like, I'm going to get pummeled. And I felt bad for the poor guy. Carson Wentz equals Steve DeBerg. Interesting. Brady will be a Charger, mark my words. I'm sorry, though. If I'm Tom Brady and I've had 6 Super Bowls, why do I want to go to L.A., to the Chargers, who don't have a fan base, and is a team that is a long ways away? That makes no sense to me. If I'm going to leave New England, it better be somebody who's knocking on the door for a Super Bowl. I'm not going to get the crap beat out of me. I'm sorry. That makes no sense. Mark doesn't speak sarcasm? Really, dude? Come on, man. Come on. No, Dez is done. Okay. So, think. Think about this. Think. Think. So, you say third wide receiver. So you're going to take Michael Gallup and bench him? A guy who's getting paid peanuts? A guy who has gotten better each year? A guy who had 1,000 yards last year? You're going to sit that guy for a guy who hasn't played in 2 years? Who has been injury riddled? That's what your thought is? Really? You're going to do that? You're going to take 1,000-yard wide receiver and have him sit for an old-ass receiver who hasn't played for 2 years, coming off an Achilles tendon injury, who drops half of his passes. Okay, got it. Okay, sounds like a plan to me. Do dirty. You can't trade somebody you don't have signed. He is a free agent. And even if you put a franchise tag on him, he has to sign it before you could trade him. Am I speaking dog here? Simba, am I speaking dog? Roof. I mean, what? Lord, help me. Help me. Please. Okay. Okay, how about this? Are you going to sit Randall Cobb, who plays in the slot? Because Dez Bryant's never played in the slot. Let me just put that out there. All those people say, make him a tight end. You're going to try and take an old dog and teach him a new trick. So you're going to play him in the slot instead of Randall Cobb, right? Is that your plan then? He's an outside guy who's always been a number one. So you're going to take a guy who had problems still playing as a number one, which is the reason why you let him go. You're going to turn around, put him into a new position, and you're going to put him in the slot where he's going to take more abuse. That's your plan? That's your plan. That is your plan, right? Oh, okay. I'm not trying to listen. Everybody gets old. Everybody gets old, Antoine. Come on, Antoine. No, seriously. I'm sorry. That train has left the station, man. It's left the station. I'm pointing out. You're not going to set Michael Gallup for at best. Dez Bryant is your fourth wide receiver. That's at best. But generally speaking, your fourth wide receiver plays special teams. You going to play him on special teams? Lord knows we need some help on special teams. Lord knows we need help on special teams. Come on, man. More likes, please. Okay. Cowboys need Burrow. Oh, Lordy. Come on, man. I don't tread on Dez. Dez just 31. 31 with a lot. Listen, Dez Bryant's style was always a very physical style, jumping over people and everything else, and it was incredible. But his body is failing him. And see, here's what happens with wide receivers. When guys get older and you don't have the speed that you used to have, you don't have the jumping ability that you have, you look at a guy like Larry Fitzgerald. You know what kicks in? Your route running ability. See, Larry Fitzgerald became better again as he got older because he could play in the slot. And he's able to do things that Dez never did. Dez was always a great physical specimen. Dez could jump over top of people. But Dez was never a precise route guy. And that's where when you get older, that comes into play. Your skill set, when your physical tools end up going downhill. He does not have those physical tools where he can out-jump everybody else and things. So now it becomes, I need you to be at that spot because that's where that ball's coming, over that shoulder, and I need you to catch the ball. Sorry. Facts are facts. It's the same thing when you start thinking about Tony Romo. You know, Tony Romo, gunslinger, made incredible plays, but also with those incredible plays, the risks that he took, you also had bad plays too. Barry Sanders, probably the greatest running back ever in the history of football. But Barry Sanders would end up trying to make something that wasn't there. He had almost as many negative plays as he had positive plays. You've got to look at the body of somebody's work completely. You can't sugarcoat it. And for some reason, anytime you say something that may be a fact, you're saying, you're trashing the guy. We're talking about the facts. You look at the body of work in its totality. And the bottom line is this. If I get this player, is the money going to be worth what I can get on the field? If it's going to be that it takes from this over here, you got to look at where it weighs. Michael Gallup's on a rookie contract. He's not a multi-year veteran where a veteran has a minimum salary that he's going to get paid. So he's going to cost you some money to hire him. Even if he takes the veteran minimum, his years that are in there are still going to cost you some money. You bring him in, it's going to cost you another space on the team. And beyond having that wide receiver, oh yeah, that's a luxury. Because now it's taken away from my special teams, and we need somebody who can be a wide receiver, who can also be a kick returner or something else. You look at Austin, who was a fourth and fifth receiver. He was also a kick returner when he was actually healthy. He's playing multiple roles. He's out there on kick coverage. You can't take that spot and say, we're going to have just Dez Bryant, who's our fourth wide receiver, and that's all he's going to do. That's where you got to look at this. It's great to think, if we could get Dez Bryant from 2014, I'd say all in, let's go for it. But you're not getting Dez Bryant from 2014. You're not. And it's not about saying he's trash. I never said he's trash, but I said you got to look at the situation with what he brings to the table. If Dez had a whole lot that he was bringing to the table, you don't think somebody else would have signed him besides New Orleans? Do you? Come on, man. Glad the coaches make the decision on Dez and not us. Just because they're a coach doesn't mean they make the right decision. Does not mean it. Carson Wentz will be intercepted on the opening play of week 1. Robert Smith, your quarterback stinks and so does your team. Damn. Tierra, how you doing? Shout out to Tierra, who ended up notifying me that Amari Cooper was on live. I appreciate that. Tara. Email me, cowboysmark94gmail. Oh, what's your address, okay? Can you do that for me? Can you do that for me, please? Because I got to thank you for hooking a brother up, okay? I appreciate you hooking a brother up, and I want to thank you. Baldo Salazar, what does that even mean? Don't try and figure out Baldo. It's not. I'm telling you, Robert. Even though you're a giant trash, your team is trash. Don't try and figure out. Just don't. Wentz is better than Jason Garrett. Well, you know what? My pinky toe's better than Jason Garrett, man. Come on. Dak and Mahomes will be the next Brady and Manning. I would love that. Is this guy black? What guy? Me? You know what I am? I'm a human being and an American. I could say I'm a mutt because I'm a little bit of everything, but I am a human being. And what difference does it make if I'm black, white, or grizzly gray? We're all Americans. But technically, because you know, if you're a 10th black, you black. So I'm black. It's light-skinned brothers are making a comeback, by the way. Daniel Jones can't throw to his left, and he can't hold on to the ball. There's only here's a funny one. And I wish I was actually on my regular live stream stuff so that way I could put my Carson Wentz. I need to do some more of those Carson Wentz videos of him turning the ball over. It's funny that Danny Dimes was a fumbling machine, played less games than Carson Wentz, but only had one more fumble. Isn't that kind of funny? Isn't it funny that the talking heads never talk about that? Preach no matter what color. See, here's what Here's what I honestly wish would happen. Whenever somebody doesn't agree with you, most people basically say, read between the lines, F you. Just because I have a difference of opinion than you doesn't mean you have to say the hell with you or cuss me out. People always say, you know what, this guy, get rid of him because he's got a different. No, don't get rid of him, because he might actually have a better opinion or have me think about something I hadn't thought about before. Maybe if I have your ideas and my ideas, you can see things from my point of view and I see things from your point of view, and somehow together we can actually come up with a solution that works. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be, you don't agree with me, so I hate you. There's too much hate in the world. I can say, I know some black people that aren't worth a rat's ass. I know some white people that aren't worth a rat's ass. I know some incredible black people, some incredible Asian people, some incredible Hispanic people. Because you can't put people in a box. You can't say that all people of this race or color are like this. You have to judge each person, each as an individual, by their character, by their merits, and about what they actually do. And I wish that we would stop using this. I'm a human being. That's what I am. That's what all you guys are. Some of you guys, you need Jesus. But you're all human beings. Good luck to the teams that team is going to XFL drafting with $13 million. They're going to have to, listen, this is what I find funny, because, everybody keeps talking about Dak needs to take a discount. Kansas City, it's going to be, brother, can you spare some change? Because when they go pay their quarterback, unless this deal is and Orlando Scandrick is right, and the salary cap's going to go up to $240 million this year, they got some problems in Kansas City. Tierra, that would take the rest of the season. Heath Schuler is greater. No, come on, man. Wait a minute. Heath Schuler was some dog crap, okay? That was another one of those Redskin fails. The Chiefs should pay Mahomes $50 million. Let's start with that. Yeah. Well, if Dak gets, say, that 33 or 35, we're going to say, hey, man, Pat Mahomes, he worth 50, man. If they don't pay him that, then they're wrong. Yeah, we can do that. I'll give you Phil Simms is better than Carson Wentz. Antoine. Man, you know what? I may dislike people, but I don't hate people. Well, no, actually, there's a couple. You got to work real hard to get hate. You have a different opinion than I do, and I ain't got no problem with that. That's the way it should be. That's as long as what you're doing doesn't hurt me. Hey, God gave you your life and your opinions to do what you want, and live your life, bro. I happen to be, maybe I'm living in a fantasy world or La La Land or whatever. My ideas about Dak Prescott, I can be 100% wrong. But it's up to me to think the way I want to think, just like it is for all you guys to think the way you want to think. As long as you are not physically harming somebody else or emotionally harming somebody else, hey, brother, go at it. Peterson and Rossman will be fired in 2 years. Whoa, that would be big. Carson Wentz is a gargantuan bust. Well, I tell you what, he really, it's 3 years now. The last 3 years, he's had an injury to end the season. Sal says Dak will sign for 36.5. At this point, if they've already offered 33, what's $3 more million? Seriously, what's $3 more million? Just get the thing. Listen, the best thing you could do would be get his deal done, get Amari Cooper's done, and then transition tag Byron Jones. That's the perfect thing to do. Those are colors, not races. Well, okay. I didn't say he wasn't good, but I tell you what, your best ability is your availability. And Carson Wentz isn't available when playoffs come around too much. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that? Actually, he's got some numbers that are higher than Dak's, like interceptions and fumbles with less games. How about that one? How about that one? Come on now. Come on. If you're going to tell the story completely now. Tell the whole story, okay? Wentz equal golf and both were overpaid. Damn. Okay. You know what? You may be right on that one. I think I'm going to do. I think tomorrow. Tomorrow I don't have too much. I've got to go up and I got to build a handicap ramp. I might work on some of those tomorrow. Daggone, we've been out here for an hour and 20 minutes already? Oh, Carson Wentz is Prince Harry in a helmet. That's bold, Joseph. Okay. More, thank you very much for that super chat. What's up here from Dallas, man? I bet you the weather's warmer than here in Northern Virginia. Golf is overrated. We just got our first case of coronavirus in D.C. Ivory, guess what? I tell you what. Whoa. Okay, you know what? Guess what, man? Sometimes every quarterback makes mistakes. Seriously. I kid you not. Sometimes they take a sack. Sometimes they fumble the football. Sometimes they throw interceptions and they're bad interceptions. They all do. Don't tell anybody I told you that, though. There you go, Justin. Justin keeping it real. Fun fact, Carson Wentz has just as many games lost as Dak does with 9 less games. Ba-dum-bum-ching. Oh, yeah, you know what? Eagles, yeah, I'm going to tell you. One person you don't want to mess with is Tierra. Tierra will shit. Tierra will whip that ass, okay? She will make you run home to your mama. I'm serious. You just don't know. You just don't know. One time, somebody said something and told her to go get back in the kitchen. I was surprised they didn't say, fix me a ham sandwich. She lit into that. I mean, I was just like, oh, damn. He don't know, do it. He just don't know. You don't mess with Tierra. Boy, she put foot in ass. There's no difference between Dak and Wentz. Oh, I would say there's a couple. There's a couple. Dak Prescott's actually made it through 3 playoff games. There's that one. Yeah, there's that one right there. Dak's actually won playoff games. Yeah, there's that one too. Dak definitely doesn't fumble 48 times in 4 seasons. There's that one. I'll tell you that. Dak also too. He actually has a lot more touchdowns than Carson Wentz. He actually has third most in the history of football in the first 4 years, if you count his rushing touchdown. His 21-3 that Carson Wentz has. And by the way, Dak Prescott, he can actually run the football, take a tackle, and get up. He can actually get hit in the head and continue playing too. There's those things. Peace out, Baldo. Actually, I'm going to ready to peace on out myself here because I'm going to go up and get me some dinner. I'm going to get some of that pulled pork that Jet D gave me. Yeah, and you know what? Eagles for life. Your guy has to walk past a statue of another man whose ring he's wearing every day going to work. How about that one? Your guy. Yeah. I wonder how Carson Wentz feels knowing that Nick Foles, a career backup, has a statue out there in his house, in front of his house. You know what that's like? I got to tell you. Here's what I'm going to tell you what that's like. Let me equate it to this. That's like your girlfriend having her old headboard that's got a bunch of notches carved into it. And every night you go to bed, you look at all those notches. Yeah, that's what that's like. You got a statue of the other man in front of your house. That's what you got, Carson Wentz. You can say he got a ring. But until I see him win some playoff games and get himself there, you ain't done shit. Right. They both have 97 passing TDs. Carson Wentz, which is ninth, by the way, to start first 4 years. That's ninth on the list, which is great. Wentz has 3 rushing touchdowns, and Dak's got 21. 21! Which puts him third all time to start a career. Yeah. He's wearing another man's wedding band as well. Foles earned that ring. Let me ask you a real question. Okay, no, seriously, Eagle fans, I'm going to ask you a real question here. I'm going to ask a real question here, and I want an honest answer. Is Nick Foles a great quarterback? Is Nick Foles as good as Carson Wentz? That's what I want to know. In your mind, is Carson Wentz special? Because you look at the body of work of Nick Foles. There's nothing that says that Nick Foles is elite. Is it? Am I wrong? I mean, we went on that great run in the playoffs. He had that great run right there, those games. And he came in the year before and took the team that you went 5-6 with and won 3 games in a row to get you in the playoffs. I asked you this because I say, if Carson Wentz is so special, how is it that a journeyman quarterback came in and had a higher winning percentage than you did and took a team to the Super Bowl? To me, what that says is you got a great team around you and a great coach that could go ahead and coach through diversity. Because, see, if that had been Jason Garrett, we know Jason Garrett, when he lost Tony Romo, team went down the toilet. He got 1 game out of 12 with another quarterback. So to me, you have to ask yourself, and actually that may be a good thing for you guys that your quarterback can't stay healthy, is that maybe it's the system that they have that you don't necessarily have to be special to run it. I'm going to hear some hate. I know I'm going to hear some hate. But honestly, if Carson Wentz is elite and up here, then how is it that that journeyman who's down here was able to do what you couldn't? That's a real question. Oh, super chat. I'm sorry, I missed that super chat. Jeff Sama. Jeff, we'll just call you Jeff. Thank you for that super chat, man. Well, we'll add you to the drawing for Monday night. I'll figure out what we're going to give away because I got some more Super Bowl stuff in there. I would demolish. You know what's sad here? You know, here's the thing, man. See, Lord Brunson, Lord. I wouldn't say Eagles have a great coach. Got lucky. Well, maybe, but no. But here's the thing, though. Antoine, think about this though. Carson Wentz, after they won the Super Bowl, was 5-6. He did lose to Dak Prescott twice. They seem to forget that. Okay, but here's the thing. Nick Foles came in, and it was literally like every week was like a playoff intensity because they needed to win every single week. So he was under pressure to save the season for the Eagles, and yet he was able to do it. So if you look at it and say Nick Foles is not that great a quarterback, you know, he went to Jacksonville, $22 million a year, and they're trying to get rid of him after 1 year. They're saying this guy sucks. Can somebody take him off our hands? We'll give you a draft pick to go with them. You're saying that he's not that good a quarterback. Yet in that system, for some reason, he thrived. How many? I think he's lost 1 game as a starter for the Eagles. I need to look that up because he won 3 games straight, won them a playoff game in 2018, right? So that's 4. He lost against shit. I can't remember. They beat the Bears. I can't remember who they lost to in the second round. But that's 4 victories, 1 loss. Then I think he had 1 loss to begin the year. He didn't lose any when he started the year before, so he may have 2 losses, 1 being in the playoffs. So you look at it from that standpoint, he's got one hellacious win percentage with the Eagles. You look everywhere else, except for 1 year when he was young with the Eagles, it's garbage. So how is it that you were able to take a average quarterback and he can play like Carson Wentz did? Do tell. Tell me. Come on. Tell me now, Eagle fans. Tell me. Answer that. What's up, Beast Mode? James Austin. Mexican Sport. How y'all doing tonight, man? Mr. Antoine, right? Is Sean McVay still? But see, actually, here's the thing. See, that may be one of those cases where he got lightning in a bottle because he was the anti-Jeff Fisher, and he had a Todd Gurley who was really, really good. He came in with an offense, that was surprising people. You could look at Mike Shanahan when his second, incarnation was the pistol offense. You could look at how RG3 played that 1 year when, I remember seeing D-Ware standing flat-footed because he didn't know what to do. Defenses did not know how to attack it, and it seemed like last year teams started learning out how to go ahead and attack it. That and Todd Gurley having arthritis in his knee. And this is where I'm going to play conspiracy theorist here. Think about Todd Gurley in that offseason, how he was pounding about getting that long-term deal. You remember that? He was going, all in on he was going deep in about, we're running backs, we need to get taken care of and everything else. Do you think, anybody else think that he knew that he was having problems with that knee and that's why he was trying to force their hand to get that big contract? Because he knew if I don't get it right now, I'm not going to ever get paid again because my shit's messed up. That's what I'm saying. Lighting it in a bottle. Lightning in a bottle. Yeah. See, Antoine, we alike, man. You're my dog, man. You're my brother from another mother. But so when they came in, they took a team that, of course, was bottom feeders. They got a softer schedule. You had a quarterback that nobody thought much about, figured he wasn't even going to play. He ended up using Todd Gurley, and a lot of the passes for Jared Goff were actually, bubble screens and things that went to Gurley where they took it to the house. It wasn't so, like he was Aaron Rodgers lighting it up. They had a really good defense that could get the ball, and you had Todd Gurley who was doing some incredible things. But then teams realized, okay, well, Todd Gurley is hurt. He can't run like he used to, and they figured out how to play against Jared Goff. So defenses caught up to Sean McVay. It's going to be interesting to see what they do this year because they're screwed. They don't have a first-round draft pick this year or the next year. They got no cap space. They got to pay Jalen Ramsey because we know he's going to get ugly when he don't get paid. And they don't have cap space to replace the guys that they have. You may be looking at the Rams down the toilet. Carson Wentz is overrated. I've kind of said that one. Play the video, Mark. I can't on this because this isn't my normal setup. This is me actually just using one Mevo. When I'm sitting at my desk, I have the whole studio set up where I have all the videos and stuff queued in. Chris Miller, thank you very much. How you doing tonight, man? Thank you for that super chat. Everybody who has done a super chat tonight, I'm going to write your name down, put you in the bucket. Monday night, make sure you're here for our live stream. Monday night, I may have some wires hooked up to me because I got to get some tests done. But we'll do another drawing on Monday night. Maybe even two. And Tierra, make sure, Tierra's like Mike Tyson up in here when somebody challenges her, young Mike Tyson. Not Mike Tyson with the tattoo. But I'm talking about young Mike Tyson. You showed up with no socks on or anything like that and just knock people out. That's Tierra. So, guys, you might not want to mess with Tierra because she will knock you out. Oh wow. Okay. And I tell you what, Eagles. Here's what's amazing. I, I'm gonna ask you a real question, Eagle fans. Do you look at this season as a success? Because it seems like the only bright spot that you talk about is the fact that you got one victory over the Dallas Cowboys. And that reminds me of the New York stinking Giants in 2016, who got embarrassed when they went to the playoffs. Their battle cry was, "We beat the Dallas Cowboys twice." Is that does that make your season? I know the Redskins, whenever they get a victory over the Cowboys, that they say we can go 0-15 as long as we beat. Excuse me, 15-1. Excuse me, 1-15. As long as we beat the Cowboys, we're happy. Is that what it is? Is that what it really boils down to? That the only thing that matters is the fact that you got one victory. You guys seem to forget that you got your ass kicked the first game, 37-7. You guys somehow seem to forget that. Because to me, I look at it and say, hey, look, we're 5-1 in our division, and at least for us, we cleaned out some trash. We got rid of Jason Garrett and crew. We got new hope. We got new blood. We got a new attitude. We got new work for other teams to try and figure this out. So for me, I'm going to look at my season and say that was a success. The fact that we moved on from Jason Garrett, I'm happy. I'm happy as can be. So you, my friend, did it make your season that you actually got a victory over the Cowboys? Is that what it's come down to? Because you didn't have that last year. You didn't have that last year. You got that this year. Is that what it is? Jordan Phillips from the Dolphins free agency would be a good move. All right, I'm going to check him out, man. Is he a big body? Is he a wide body? Does he have a big ass? Okay, is he short? Can he push the middle? That's what I'm looking for. Okay, now not that I'm trying to look at a man's behind, but I need somebody who's low to the ground and got some ass that he can push the pocket. Okay, that's what we need. Thank you for that super chat. 119 yards, 2 TDs, 2 interceptions. Oh, you got to add fumbles. You got to add a fumble or two to that too. Got to add a fumble. You got to add a fumble for Carson Wentz's stat line. Yep, big boy. Oh, I'm in love already, man. Wentz will never throw for 350 plus. We've beaten Philadelphia 3 of the last 4 games. It took our quarterback and wide receiver playing injured for them to squeak out a victory. You right about that. You are 100% right on that. Oh my! And we listen, and we're handicapped by Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett. I still can't believe that we literally went through a decade of Jason Garrett. How the hell does that happen? How does that happen? I'm just sitting there thinking the Redskins went through the ball coach. Or no, wait, did they have the ball coach? I'm trying to think how many coaches the Redskins had in the time that we had Jason Garrett. I want to say the old ball coach was here. Jim Zorn, Mike Shanahan, and Gruden. They had all those guys, and we had Jason Garrett the whole time. That's sad. Think about that. Damn. The Eagles had, damn, I'm getting old and forgetful. KC's coach, then Chip Kelly, and now Doug Peterson. At the same time, we had Jason Garrett. Robbie Redford, man, thank you, man. You know it's like whack-a-mole. You know when you're dealing with the trolls, you pop one, then another one pops up. You're literally swinging with the trolls. You just got to keep, bang, bang, bang. And see, I got Tierra here. Tierra's got my back. Tierra's got them running for the hills, man. Shout out to Tierra. Beast Mode 5 or 6. Eagles fan, You know how I know you ain't using winning shit? You won your Super Bowl and tore up your own city. Damn. Yeah, that's Eagle fans for you. Dak had the number one offense with more receivers drop. You know, that's the thing that's funny. I I don't even need to go. You guys know all this. I've said it 50 million times, trying to pound it into the haters' heads. They don't want to believe it, that we led the league in drop passes. And not only that, we had some of the worst calls against us. Think about this, man. Remember those 2 tripping calls they had against us? Remember the 3 touchdowns that were called back that Randall Cobb had? Or how about that touchdown pass against the Jets that Jason Witten had, and they said that we had a illegal pick, and it wasn't an illegal pick? You know, you can look back and see what this offense and led the league in drops. Think about had just half of that stuff not happened. How many? We might have had 6,000 yards. But, you know, what can I say? Quit hating on my quarterback. I get it every BB13. People who haven't won rings this century say that. You know what? Big Rube. I'm not gonna say Big Rub. Big Rube. 76. Thank you for the super chat. You know what, Eagles? You're right. We have not won a Super Bowl this century, and we stink. I have to agree with that. It's been too damn long. But I'm going to ask you a question, since you guys are so great. How come you haven't caught up to us? Better yet, how come you haven't caught up to the Giants yet? Or even better yet, how come you haven't caught up to the Washington Redskins? You know that the Washington Redskins have 3 times the Super Bowls than you guys. Seriously. 3 times the Super Bowls than you do. Come on, man. Come on. Oh, my God. The real fan. Wait. No, stop. Okay, you know what? Here's what real fan. Do me a favor, real fan. Now, this is not hate. I'm not going to cuss you out. I'm not going to say you're stupid or anything like that. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to do this. I want you to go watch the Cowboys versus the Jets game. Okay? I want you to do that. I want you to think that La'el Collins, out. Tyron Smith, out. Randall Cobb, out. Amari Cooper, 1 pass play and out. Okay? I want you to think about the fact that the Jets were allowed to pummel my quarterback mercilessly. There should have been 5 unnecessary roughness calls. It was so bad. How bad was it, you say? That the NFL looked at the film after the fact and they said, yeah, we're going to fine 2 of the players $27,000 for unnecessary hits on the quarterback. Those were plays that should have been first downs. Understand, that game we lost 24-22. We had a kicker miss a field goal. I remember watching just the first quarter and a half. Michael Gallup, ball, twice, right here. Defender not within 3 yards. Drop. In fact, one of them hit him in the helmet. Right there in the face mask. I want you to think about Jason Witten having a touchdown catch reception, and they called an illegal pick that even Tony Romo was like, the fuck? What are they looking at? So you're telling me, oh, and they, by the way, Josh Allen, the defense, I think he had like a 120 rating that they couldn't shut down Josh Allen. You're going to tell me that that's Dak's fault and he has to overcome all that. Right? That's what you're saying? Just go watch that game. Just please. Just go watch that game. Because just if the field goal kicker had kicked the kick, we would have won that game. Just if Michael Gallup had caught a couple of those balls, I think he dropped 6 passes that day, had caught some of those passes, we would have won that game. Just if the Jason Witten touchdown wasn't called back, we won that game. Just if we had had a couple of those unnecessary roughness calls, we would have had first downs. Because I remember one of those was an incomplete pass, and it would have been first down, I think, on the 18-yard line. But you're saying that he is supposed to overcome all of that to get the win, right? Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, Pat, right. And Pat, that's what I'm saying. That was one of those games that it didn't matter what you did. Everything was getting called against you. And we had games where we had, the NFL comes back, we had 2 tripping calls. See, I swear that the officials get together Saturday night before a game on the Cowboys, and they get the official book. And they go through the book and say, let's find some calls that nobody's called before and call them on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm serious. Think about it. When was the last time you heard tripping called? We got 2 phantom ones called on us this season, right? 2. How about unsportsmanlike conduct for having 12 men in the huddle? You know how many times that shit's been called? Do you? Twice. And both times it was called on the Dallas Cowboys by the same official. Ain't never called on nobody else. And by the way, the guy wasn't in the huddle. How about the the long snapper for the field goal kick, moving the football? It's only ever been called once against the Dallas Cowboys and the Redskins. Oh, wait. How about unnecessary roughness on the running back for lowering their head? You know, that's another one of those ones. It's only been called twice in the history of that penalty. And guess what? Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard got called for it. Only those 2 guys. You're telling me that Derrick Henry never lowers his head in a running play? You're telling me that, right? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. Let's be real here. There's an agenda against the Dallas Cowboys that we don't get calls. Here it is. Okay, like I said, the Jets literally pounded my quarterback in the head. My quarterback had to go under the tent and in concussion protocol. By the way, when Carson Wentz got hit in the head, he left the field, and they said he was brave for not trying to go back out there. Just saying. If Dak had left the field, they would have said he is a big P. You know what the rest of it is, that cat. Dak Prescott, he's a cat. There's an agenda against the Dallas Cowboys. When you see Tom Brady in the playoffs the year before, I swear this was one of those ones. It's like, official, how can you sleep at night? Because Tom Brady, literally, the defender, that was it. Unnecessary roughness, defense, 15 yards. What? We got Redskin players hitting Dak Prescott helmet to helmet out of bounds and don't get those calls. Jet players that are driving his head into the ground don't get those calls. Come on, man. At some point you got to say, wait a minute. Wait. Let's at least call this shit fair. And then you guys look at that and say, oh, well, you got to overcome that shit. Come on, man. That's some bull jive. Carson Wentz that's what they said. Oh, he was so brave that, he didn't risk that concussion going out there. My quarterback couldn't raise his arm before that Eagle game. And here it is. Here's how stupid my coaching staff is. How many times has Zeke Elliott touched the ball in that game? 15 times? What we throw 49 passes with a quarterback who couldn't raise his arm during the week in practice? The quarterback couldn't freaking practice. Could not practice, and you threw the ball 49 times. That goes back to coaching. Come on, man. Come on. Some bullshit. There's some bullshit here, man. Dak took himself out if the playoff game and what? Dak ain't no. Dak is a warrior. Dak ended up fucking up his hand against the Redskins. Didn't miss a play. Dak's a warrior. Dak ain't gonna miss practice. He ain't gonna miss games. He gonna have to be on his deathbed, and they probably have to tie his ass down to keep him from going out there. Dak ain't taking himself out the game. He ain't taking himself out the game. Don't even try. Don't try no bullshit ass lies like that, son. He ain't taking himself out the game. That's some bullshit. Don't come on my shit. You know, the Eagles, I let you guys in here and stuff, but when you come in here with some bullshit like that, man, I'm gonna have to kick your ass out. Don't lie on my quarterback. Don't lie on my quarterback. Because see, I will give you at least benefit of the doubt. I'm not in here saying that Carson Wentz is trash. I give the guy credit. I'd say he's a good quarterback. He's got some issues with taking care of the football because he fumbles, and that ain't a lie. When you're second in the NFL, when you've had 48 fumbles, there's a problem with holding on to the football. That is a fact. And when you can't finish a season, when you can only play half a quarter in the playoffs, and that you always have to have somebody else carry your team in the playoffs, that is a fact about your quarterback that you have to question. If you're an Eagle fan and not thinking that, can this guy make it through a season and through the playoffs, then you are blind, dumb, and stupid, because you got to look at it and say, when you get injured, you don't just miraculously get better and stop getting injured. You get injured more. When you start getting concussions, you're more susceptible to concussions the next time. Sam Bradford always was injured. And it wasn't like all of a sudden miraculously he stopped getting injured. No, he kept getting injured even more. And if you are an Eagle fan and don't have that in the back of your head and wonder and question that, I'm sorry, you're just naive. I'm sorry. You need help. You've got to be realistic on that. You have to have questions about Carson Wentz staying upright. And if you cannot, in this day and age, have a quarterback who can play through the whole season, because there's not enough money to have the Nick Foles situation on a regular. There's not. You do not have a quarterback who you can make it through the season with, you're screwed. I'm serious, man. All jokes aside, man, I tell you what, like I said, don't make shit up. I don't make shit up about Carson Wentz. I don't make fun of him having concussion and things like that, because that shit's real. I don't make fun of injuries and things. But I talk about it and I tell you, these are the things that goes on. It's not bullshit. It has to be a concern. That's why people said, oh, you hated Tony Romo. No, you know what? I am happy that Tony Romo retired when he did, because when I look at my buddy, Charles Haley, who's only 2 years older than me, having to have both knees replaced at 56 years old. When I think about guys like Brad Johnson, who are younger than me, that need help to get out of bed. When I think about Tony Dorsett, who's beginning to get dementia, I don't make fun of somebody getting their bell rung. I don't make fun of somebody getting jacked up and being carried off in a stretcher. This shit is real and will affect the person for the rest of their lives. So when you look at that and you have somebody who is more susceptible to injuries, then it needs to be a concern. And Eagle fans, you would want to be concerned. Wentz kicked ass in playoffs? You mean Wentz got his ass kicked in playoffs? I haven't said wheelchair Wentz in a long time. I stopped doing that. I actually stopped doing it. In fact, I even put away my game of operation where I had Carson Wentz's name put on it. I did those things. I did. Seriously. I'm not lying. I'm not. Damn. How is it 2 hours went by that fast? Damn. I hope you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did, because you know what? I had not planned on being out here this long, and I certainly had not planned on talking about Carson Wentz this much. But see, you trolls keep bringing this shit out of me. I was here to talk about my quarterback and the fact that the Cowboys are finally at least talking to him about trying to get a deal done. That they finally woken the heck up and realized, hey, if we get Dak done, we get Amari done, we can go ahead and try and get something at least for Byron Jones. That would be the thing to do, or be able to keep him cheap. How about that? That's where you're using your head. I've got two of these. One of them was given to me by a great fan in Dallas, and the other one I think I bought online. You can just Google, go to Amazon and just Google Cowboys poncho, or go to NFL Shop and say Cowboys poncho, and I guarantee you know they're gonna sell you some stuff. If it's there, they'll find it for you. Well, Bradley, man, I love and appreciate you being here as well, man. I appreciate that too. Um, Eagles booed him themselves. Oh my God, they certainly did boo Carson Wentz. But you know what? It's here, Eagle fans. You know it's nothing personal. You know when Tierra goes to that ass and puts a foot in it. You know when I go ahead and I whack-a-mole you. It's nothing personal. It's only business here. We're trying to run a business here. And actually, it's the great thing for me about football, though. I think, uh-oh. Yeah, I think my fire is like, look, you've been here long enough. I'm running out of gas. I'm literally running. The fire is down. It's turned all the way up. And the propane tank is like, we done. You done, Mark. It's time to turn out the lights. Literally. It's got a few more seconds left. It's going to slowly go down. Oh, man. So that tells me that we have been on the YouTube long enough. And besides, we did that almost 4-hour job last night, and here it is, 1 hour, 57 minutes tonight. And I'm sure my neighbors are like, damn, wish this guy would shut the hell up. He's out here screaming. Ain't nobody else around. He's out here screaming. He must be crazy or on some drugs or something or other. Chris. I'm just gonna leave that right there, Chris. I'm gonna just leave that right there. Yeah, you know my guy. Walk it to him, because when you come to my restaurant, you get the L. You get the L. Skip. All right. So with that being said, guys. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to fix me a little something to eat, and I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to see you guys first thing in the morning. Again, everybody who did a super chat, I'm going to get your name, put into the bucket, and we're going to do another drawing Monday night, maybe 2. We're going to start doing those things as a regular. I have so much stuff in my man cave that I need to start paring it down, so I may start trying to give away some man cave used memorabilia from here. And if you want to become a channel member, if you go to the subscription, like the main page, you'll see subscribe, and then you see underneath it says join. Just hit that join button. It'll give you all the details and stuff on there. And when you join, we will send you guys a free shot glass as you become a channel member. Mic's too low? The mic's too low? Really? Okay. Well, so long. I'm going to go get drunk. All right, hey, just make sure, Mexican sport, that you're not drinking and driving. That's what Uber is for, okay? Because we want you back up in here. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Stay away from the coronavirus. And be cool. So I'm going to see you guys in the morning. Peace out.